let's explore grilled cheese and 8 other spiritual poems. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Today's first poem, Grilled Cheese. As a child, grilled cheese sandwiches would torture me twice. First, it would tantalize sister and I from the skillet as we heard the sizzle of mother cooking it and savored the heady scent, enduring an eternity for it to be done. Second, it would taunt us from our plates as we waited a geological age for it to cool sufficiently to eat. Today's second poem, Wiser. What a great mistake it could be to play at being more wise and more compassionate than we truly are. When another vulnerably confides in us the dark secrets of how they were mistreated, what a great mistake it could be to give their assailants the benefit of the doubt. How much wiser and loving it could be to deeply empathize with the tale told, thus shouldering a portion of their rage, despair, and terror, that they might breathe easier and deeper and find their own way to the benefit of the doubt. Today's third poem, Prepared. She confided, I wish to do what you do. I wish to be a Tertan. I wish to be a finder of sky treasures, the recipient of the Buddha's whispers. I asked, are you prepared to offer the sacrifice of your self-importance upon the altar of vulnerability and release, to study and meditate as your full-time job without concern for dignity, food, or shelter? Today's fourth poem, Purity. Just as Nirmanakaya, the body of emanation, could be a metaphor for the mastery of compassion, and Sambhogakaya, the body of delight, could be a metaphor for the mastery of mindfulness. Likewise, Dharmakaya, the body of truth, could be a metaphor for the mastery of relaxing, releasing, and flowing. Every circumstance we encounter is an opportunity to practice awareness and release. And therefore, after a fashion, all we encounter is a metaphor for wisdom's mastery. Likewise, as the paradise body, mantra and seed syllable of Chenrezig, the Buddha of enlightened compassion, serve as supports for our training in the 4 bases of mindfulness and compassion. We could view the image or notion of the Buddha of enlightened compassion as a metaphor for mindfulness, insight, and compassion, both their practice and their mastery. For the purpose of our life is found not in the duality of resisting every pain, nor reaching for every pleasure, but in applying the universal antidote to every situation. What is this panacea? Mindfulness, passive, vulnerable, and non-conceptual, insight, relaxing, releasing, and flowing, and compassion, centered, spontaneous, and uncontrived. For purity is not something we find, but merely the byproduct of habitually noticing, releasing, and loving. Today's fifth poem, Bounty Hunter's Puck. What's that? You say you do not believe in Buddha? Good. For both certitude of his existence as well as certitude of his non-existence are both rigidity and a grasping at thoughts and emotions. Both these certitudes are two sides of the same coin, or two sides of the same bounty hunter's puck offered to a Mandalorian. Certitude is grasping, and grasping multiplies stress. That is why we meditate, for if it is performed correctly, meditation could allow us to backpedal out of our habit of resisting and reaching and stressing, like a cat striving to back out of a grocery bag upon the floor. Today's sixth poem, All That Matters. It does not matter if I am Satan himself with two horns, a tail, and a bifurcated tongue. All that matters are the results you generate when you put my teachings into practice. In as little as 5 minutes every morning and 5 minutes every evening for 6.5 consecutive days, anything else is a distraction. Today's seventh poem, Wizard. I gently confronted a fellow geek for chronically arriving late to my class. He referenced Fellowship of the Ring. A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. To which I countered, "You ain't no wizard, boy." Today's eighth poem, The Price. Just as each standard piano has 88 keys, likewise every healthy mammal paints their life, their experience of life, from the same palette of emotions. There is no emotion another can feel that we have not also felt. There is no deed another can do that we could not understand, if we would but just resign ourselves to the discomfort of radical vulnerability, the price of empathy, the root of compassion. Will you pay it? Could you pay it? And what could be the advantage of doing so? For patriarchy's practice of condemnation is young in nature and originates in the brainstem, and a matriarchy's practice of empathy is yin in nature and originates in the midbrain. These regions of our brain are mere inches from each other, but worlds apart. What is that you say, O Christian fundamentalist, that you are far too godly to understand the heart of a murderer? But is not your God all-knowing, and is his Holy Spirit not indwelling, and can you not commune with your Lord's omniscience and so empathize with even the takers of life? For is it not written in the Old Testament tale of Jonah, "Where can I go where God is not?" So let us choose the difficulty and self-sacrifice of empathy's vulnerability, like the soft and squishy Baby Yoda, over the convenience of pride's judgmentalness that functions as a protective hard shell, like that of Mandalorian armor. Today's ninth and final poem, Handsome. As I donned my ochre teacher's shawl, she shook her head in disapproval, while her fingers worked nimbly to adjust the folds of my outer robe. She explained that she wanted to be sure that I looked handsome. My dear, I explained, the train to Fashionville done left without me. Let's conclude with a simple call to action. This podcast will never have any advertisements, so support us monthly on PayPal and like us on your podcast service to help others find us just as you found us as well. If meditation has felt impossible, boring, or just out of reach, you are welcome to register at buddhajoy.org for the next series of live online meditation class webinars that meet once a week.